Let it in and let it out. It is not the end. Don't forget the breeze today. Don't forget the letter you promised to send. Gone too deep. Cannot cry it all away. Maybe it will be better in the morning. Gone too deep. Can't cry it all away. Maybe it will be better in the morning. Pray for a sunny day. Pray for a sunny day.
Alright, so hopefully you guys liked that short film styled presentation of presenting this mask, this one-of-a-kind mask right here. I will actually be doing more videos like that for future masks, so just to mix things up a bit and to make things more interesting. So if you guys don't know already, this is actually the second alternate of Placebo full head, which is one of the 4 mask templates that I made. If you guys don't know what Placebo is, please check out the videos on my channel. You guys are missing out. So before I actually start talking about this mask, let me get a couple of things straight. I do not have divorced parents. My girlfriend didn't break up with me. I don't get bad grades in college, or high school, or school in general. I do not cut myself outside the bathroom. And most definitely, I do not come home with a bruise on my face and blood on my nose. Okay? So just letting you guys know that. Because some of you believe of what you guys actually see in the video. So the stuff that you guys saw in the video, all the negative stuff, that's not my life. Okay? That's just me acting. And that's just part of the meaning behind this mask. You know? If I didn't do those things, you guys wouldn't understand the story pretty much. Alright? The short film style presentation that you guys just saw for this mask has no correlation to the Freakshow and me universe. Alright? So the short film, my first short film that I created using Freakshow 6, which is named Revelation, that's a separate universe, okay? This mask and that universe do not collide. This mask has its own standalone video. Alright, so just letting you guys know that they're 2 separate things. This is a standalone mask with its own video. Please do not get confused. The name Figment, which is the name of this mask, and the video was actually not made by me, believe it or not. It was an idea. It was a simple name given to me by, well, I'm not going to mention his name due to privacy purposes, but I will tell you guys his channel on YouTube. I don't really think that's I don't really think that's his own channel, but it's the channel in which he uploads short film videos with his crew. So it's pretty much his group's YouTube channel, and you guys should totally check it out. He's the person that who came up with the name Figment, because believe it or not, the name Figment, it wasn't always named Figment. It was actually named Make Believe. That was actually the planned name for the video. And I didn't really want to make the name for the mask Make Believe, so I wanted people to recall it the Make Believe mask, or the punk rock mask, or whatever it is you guys want to call it. He came up with a simple method. He sent me, a message and said, "Hey, why don't you just name it Figment?" And I was like, "Oh wow, I could have thought of that." So Figment is a perfect name because it's one word and it's pretty much the same definition as Make Believe. So yeah. I didn't make the name, I'm just crediting the guy who came up with the name. So please check out his channel. That'll be NspirationFilms. It's spelled differently, so just click on the link in the description below for that. And also, just to clear things up, the stuff that you guys saw in the video is not really my life. Alright guys, so this section of every mask video I'm going to do from now on will be something new. So what I mean by this is that usually, how like I always show the mask on a flat surface without the armature in it? Well, I'm gonna have a new segment in each end of my videos in which you guys will see the actual mask, whether it be a full head or a face mask in an armature. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that you guys are actually gonna see the mask in its entirety, in its full form. You guys aren't just gonna see the mask being worn by me, but you guys are also going to see the mask and what it looks like in an armature. So here is Figment. This is casted in Ecoflex silicone, obviously a full head, as you guys can see. So let's go over the features of this mask. So you guys will notice that it actually has piercings. These aren't actually real piercings right here. Those are actually just sculpting wire curved. So that's what I did. But these are actually legit real gauges, so I took the time to order that. The reason why I ordered gauges is because that's not something I can recreate from the scrap metal that I have right now, so I have to pretty much order. And also it makes the mask really authentic when it comes to the whole punk styled aesthetic, right? So some of you are probably wondering how come I didn't just buy real earrings for that. Well, let me tell you guys why. I tried looking for earrings in stores, but guess what they usually have? They usually have the ones with the gems inside. They don't have the plain ones that I want. And usually the plain ones that they have are meant for females, and that's not actually going to look right with this mask. so I decided to make my own. I also could have ordered some online, but the ones that they had on Amazon are actually shipped from China, and I looked at the shipping rate, and it will take 3 weeks for it to ship, and that's gonna take a while, and I don't have time for that, so I made my own. And there's also piercings on the lip, one piercing on the lip, and one on the nose right there. And don't worry, you can still breathe. And of course more on the left ear. So let's get to the hair. This is also a main detail of this mask, and this is something I've never done before because I usually use real hair for when it comes to hair punching. This style of hair is actually not hair punch. This is using fur. This is actually the same fur that I used for my first custom mask made by Eric, and those were the 2 werewolves pretty much, and that's pretty much what I used for the hair, and it looks pretty good. Now let me get technical with this, and there's a reason why. So there's a reason why I didn't actually silicone every area of this, and that's because what tends to happen, I noticed, when you silicone hair in its entirety, it will actually limit how you stretch the silicone mask in that particular area. So do you guys get what I mean? So what I did here was I pretty much took like a 1-inch glob of silicone and placed it onto the actual fur square. So I didn't actually silicone everything down, so you'll notice that you can actually flip it. See that? See how you can flip it? That's for the sake of the mask, the silicone mask, maintaining its elasticity, you know, how far it stretches. Because if you guys think about it, like I said, if I silicone this whole thing down, it's literally going to not stretch on that area, and it may even tear. So you guys don't want that, right? So yeah, that's what I did. That's the solution that solves it. And of course I can always stitch it, as some of you may think, and that too is a bad idea, because this is a silicone mask. The tiniest hole can be a big hole if you stretch it too far, and I don't want that to happen. So I just did what I usually do and silicone it right there. And obviously please don't hold it by the hair, whoever ends up buying this mask, because it can still rip even though I siliconed it in. So please be safe with this mask, and please be careful because it can still tear. So now let's look at it overall. So here's the front view, side view. You'll notice the tattoo, pretty cool, nice and simple. Didn't want it to be too complicated. And that is Figment, guys. So in the next clip I will actually show you guys more technical info of the mask inside. Alright guys, so here is the actual mask without it being on an armature. So as you would expect, it's really relaxed because it's obviously casted out of Ecoflex silicone, and it pretty much simulates human flesh. So let's get to it. So again, just a reminder, do not hold it by the mohawk, alright, because it's not stitched on, and I told you guys why I didn't stitch it on the previous clip. But yeah, just don't hold on to it because it can still rip out, alright, and you guys don't want to do that. And also, before I forget to mention this later, since this is a silicone mask, when you want to put it on, put both of your hands inside and let your wrists stretch really far, and then you put it on. Same thing when taking it off, and this is the best way to put on a silicone mask as well as taking it off, alright. And for those of you who are wondering, the mouth is pretty it's not really glued shut, so you can still move your mouth, because the detail right there, I don't want to confuse you guys, but it's not really sewn shut. You can still breathe through the mouth and nose, of course, and you can still move the mouth. You can't move it as much though, because this group is pretty much blocking it, and that's actually part of the design. So just letting you guys know that, and hopefully everything is clear. So let's take a look at it inside. So as you can see from the first glance, this is using my new way of casting silicone masks, and it's using the smooth casting method. So here it is. See how smooth it is? So that's good. The reason why smooth casting is good is because you pretty much get a really good cast for any silicone cast that you do, because it's not too thin and it's not too thick. So pretty much the cast is perfect. And it being smooth, guess what you can do? You can pretty much move your face around. And since it's pretty much smooth everywhere, it will actually create better friction on your face, making it move with your face better, along with your neck. So that's good to know. So if you guys remember from the last silicone mask video I did, Scribe, it was a bit rough inside the face when I applied the power mesh, but now it's smooth, so it's pretty much embedded within the cast, as you can see right here. The power mesh is there so that it's pretty much there to protect the eyes and mouth from ripping if you stretch it in a certain way, so it's not gonna rip. The power mesh is there to make it durable, and that's the inside. As you guys can see, really smooth. As I said, this uses my new way of casting silicone masks, so everything's good to go. And I also forgot to mention about the gauges and the earrings. You can actually take them off. I didn't design this mask so that the gauge and the earrings are permanently there. You can actually take them off and you can customize it. So if you want everything to be in the right ear, go for it. You know, if you don't want the nose ring, take it off. So you're pretty much free to do that. It's not hard to take it off. It's, you know, like I said, I didn't make it so that it's permanently there. You guys can do whatever you want with it. So now let's talk about pricing. As usual, the pricing for an ordinary silicone mask of mine, full head of course, is $150 plus shipping, and the shipping will cost $15 if you're in the US, and $65 overseas shipping. And I only accept PayPal, check, and money order. So if you guys are interested in this mask, please check it out. If you guys are wondering what's for sale at the moment, go to my for sale playlist to see which masks are available. I don't usually do this at the end of videos, but since the video that you guys just saw was pretty much silent, other than the fact that background music was playing, I want to take the time to explain it because I think it's really important and it can probably relate to anybody. So the meaning behind this mask is pretty simple. If you guys look at the way it is styled, it's supposed to look like the weird kid at every high school, you know, who always sits by himself in the lunchroom, class, school bus. This is your stereotypical weird kid, and I'm not trying to discriminate people who actually look like this. People who are weird are actually the ones who get bullied a lot. So let me explain this for a second because I think it's really important. So Figment, the reason why it's called Figment is because there are actually kids out there who wish that their lives were better, but it's not. They wish to live in an imaginary world. Some actually go out of their way to make their own imaginary friend, and this is real. This happens to a lot of people, and the only way they can escape that miserable life is to imagine a better world for them or a better life inside their head. And believe me, that's usually the mindset that they're on. Believe me, they really wish that they live a better life than the one that they're living now, and that's real. There's actually kids like this. You know, this is not fantasy, this is not fiction, this is real. It happens everywhere. You know, and kids like these, they get bullied a lot. You know, a lot of stuff is happening in their life. Most people don't even know it. The weird kid that sits behind the classroom, the school bus, who sits alone in the cafeteria, he's going through a lot in life, yet no one seems to care about that, you know. So as you guys saw in the video, I tried to depict myself as that kid, you know, miserable life, miserable everything. So the only thing he does to escape is art, and thus the mask's name is Figment, because he escapes in that imaginary world. So he made himself an imaginary friend that'll help him. And it's just ridiculous because those kids are actually the smartest kids around. They're the artistic, they're the talented, but yet they're beaten to death by bullies, you know, and abusive parents. It really doesn't make sense. And I think this is a serious matter because teen suicide is at a high rate here in America, and it's really heartbreaking to read about, you know, a kid committing suicide in the news. It breaks my heart because I'm a person who has gone through bullying, and I don't know, it's really wrong, you know, and people don't really care about the people who are suffering. They don't know that they're suffering, and that's a huge problem. For a person who got bullied for 2 years in middle school, there were times in which I just want to give up with life, you know, but I tread on, you know, like I fought through it. Here I am in art college making good art. Life is good right now for me, and I'm one of those people who were heavily bullied. I think people need to direct their attention more on weird kids, you know, the ones who are actually pretty silent, because guess what, you don't know what they're going through in life. You really don't know what they're going through. You don't know that they might commit suicide the next day. You don't know that, you know. So pretty much the moral to this whole entire video: be a friend. Help kids that are weak, who cannot stand up for themselves. Help them, you know. I never got the help that I wanted in bullying, so I had to figure out a way to get out of it. It wasn't until a year later until I actually told my parents about that I was heavily bullied, and that's when they took action. So if you know a person that's getting bullied or is getting harassed, please help them out. You know, tell an adult nearby, help them. Stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves. That's what this whole video is about. Okay? You don't know what they're facing in life. They might commit suicide the next day. You don't know. Alright? And that's the point. Be nice to others. Be nice to weird kids. You know, it doesn't mean they're weird. They're completely different people. They're just like you. Okay? In fact, they're much more special than you, because they may possess talents that you don't ever have in life. You know, and these kids are the ones that get beaten, which is really ridiculous, and that really pisses me off. So for those of you who know someone that's getting bullied or harassed, help them out. Please help them. And for those people who are getting bullied and know that they're getting bullied and know that they're suffering from it, please stand up for yourself. Talk to someone. Talk to the police if it gets, you know, into a really violent situation. Talk to your principal. Talk to your parents, especially your parents. In fact, your parents are supposed to be the first ones to know that you're getting bullied. You know, please tell somebody. You cannot live like this. Alright? Do not face what I faced. Alright? Tell someone immediately. And that's pretty much what I have to say about this mask and the video, ladies and gentlemen. I just can't stress how much I hate bullying. Not to mention how much people who are getting bullied don't really do anything. You know, you gotta stand up for yourself. When I mean stand up for yourself, don't fight the bully, because that's gonna make things worse. Tell someone. Alright? And that's all I have to say for this mask, ladies and gentlemen. And that will be it, folks. Thank you for watching this video. I will be doing more short film like videos for certain masks, you know, similar to the one that you guys just saw. It took a lot of work, and I appreciate all the likes, comments, and the shares that you guys have been doing, and that really helps me. That really helps me out a lot. So thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. Stay tuned for my next video.